Hey team, we are in the workshop again today. This project is, I've got these cute little bins. I actually got a couple of storage containers from, I call it lovingly the waste place. It was the dump, essentially. You bring stuff and people can go in. It's not like garbage. It can still be used. There's still like a life cycle there, but you go and you pick up stuff, and that's where you can pick up a lot of like pallet wood. If you like pallet wood crafts and you're like, I don't know where to get pallet wood, obviously you can talk to businesses who actually can sell the pallets back to larger corporations who will reuse the pallets. So they like, there's a system in place, but sometimes you do get some left over, or they don't feel like selling them or waiting for the truck or whatever. You can work it out where you can get pallet wood if you like doing like the signs and things like that. But anyway, so I got these boxes in the pallet wood section of the waste place up in Duluth, and it's actually called WLSSD, but I couldn't remember what that stood for because it was long. But I had these boxes. I used them for a few years. Then I painted them, and I used them for a few more years. I then was like, well, they're a little bit dirty. Because at first I didn't really sand them down after I got them from the waste place, and so it was like, oh, that's there, I don't know what could be on there. And so I did sand them, and then I put a little varnish on them, like a clear coat, and then it was very absorbent, so I wasn't sure how much of the clear coat stuck. And so I ended up thinking, well, maybe if I just put like white, you can see how much is there, and so you can tell if you're protected or not, if you have that exterior paint that you can see that's clearly gonna protect, keep what's in the wood, and keep, if I missed a spot with sanding, or if it went deep, you just don't know. So if it's been out in the wilderness. But yeah, I mean, you can argue too that fresh rain would just like wash all that stuff away because it's been out in the wilderness. But so you gotta just do what you can, I guess. I did paint them, but now I've got a situation where they're in storage and mice pooped and peed all over them, and they're also heavy pieces. I'm doing the car camping, and so I'm getting rid of a lot of my big furniture, and these are big furniture. They are heavy, and they've got the poop, and so I'm gonna try and repurpose them, and because that's fun. At least I get to kind of play with them a little bit more and extend the use of them in more fun ways, and I learn and grow in my design processes as well. I've got my jigsaw here. I haven't used that in a couple of years, so that's really great. But I'm gonna go ahead and dismantle these a little bit. I'm already starting on this project, just taking the sides down, and then I'm gonna just burn this bottom because it's got all of the poop and pee, and I could go through the hassle of cleaning it all off and figuring out how much was absorbed, if it got through the paint, and if the paint was waterproof or not, things like that. But that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. It was scrap wood to begin with, and it's scrap wood now, so that's okay. But I am gonna take these pieces and I'm going to repurpose those. And I don't know what I'm building yet, so stay tuned. I shattered a jigsaw blade, so now I've got to replace it. I'm on box 2, and boop, boop, boop. I'm just going to cut it half and half, so that way it'll fit into the fire pit. So I've also got a crooked jigsaw blade. I don't know how this happened. I tried using a hammer to hammer that back out. Didn't really work in my favor though. So I used it for a little while, but then it was just too slow. So I am going to retire this thing. But bad news is I took it off, and I used my finger to take it off when it was still hot, and I burned my thumb. So be careful of that. That hurts. It's incredibly hot after it's been cutting through it. So we've also got this super long blade, and I don't know what I did, but the prongy bits are all flat in the primary cutting space. I was probably forcing it at another time because this is a used bit, and it is starting to smoke and could potentially start a fire, and it's so slow. So I'm going to go ahead and not use this bit either. I decided not to use the top edge that's holding these together, and that's kind of the norm on most of them, how they're cut. Just because, like this one, you just can't tell. Like you kind of have some of the staples kind of protruding from the one side of the wood, and on the other boards, some of them are sticking out on the other side as well. Like you can see here, it's kind of sticking out too. So it's just kind of variable. And so for safety, I decided it would make more sense to just start over and with my own hardware, and that way we make sure that there aren't any sticky outy bits for safety. But that means that we have much smaller pieces of wood that we're pulling from this, and we've got a whole lot of scrap wood for the fire. So I don't know what we're gonna make. I wanted to make something pretty cool with it, and it wasn't expected to be so small. So I don't know what we're going to land on, but let's find out. All right, so we're gonna try and make a small bench. A bench was on my list of things I wanted to try, and a very small chair was on it was like a low to the ground chair. So those were both kind of on my list of things to do. So that's where we're gonna take the inspiration from, and this is gonna be a weird combo deal of bench. Bench chair. We'll see what happens here. All right, so this was the design that was landed on. So it was just 4 of the boards, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then to keep them together, 1, 2, 3. And then for supports all the way through, 1, 2, 3, 4. With a little bit of a cutesy top, so it can be like a bench, or just have a little more support on whatever as a storage unit. And that's 1, 2, 3. I did hot glue it all, and I was very self-congratulatory until I had to remove parts so that way I would have better angles with the nails. And then and then I was nailing, and it's hardwood, and so I'm like wailing on the nails, and the nails are not going through. It took a solid amount of time before it would actually get in. So the structural integrity is still kind of, it is because it's just these. It's very much hit or miss. And because I went over to the side here and I was doing this side, I was pushing that way, and so the whole thing started going that way, and so now it cannot stand by itself, whereas before I had the glue, and so it was standing and it looked finished. I just had to add the nails, but it wasn't as easy as all that. So now I've got to figure out how I am going to get the nails in, because it is being a bit of a bear. I'm going to take a break now, just because I'm a little frustrated, and we'll come back to that. I know my dad has a nail gun, and that sounds heavenly right now. The air compressor right there. But I don't know if he's going to let me use it. Or maybe when he gets back, but figuring that part out. But all right. I will talk to you later. Bye.